Bret Hart hates Triple H apparently, so he has been doing.
Wait a minute. How many people does Bret Hart hate?
Oh, loads. But I
God,
always enjoy Bret's take. So Goldberg mostly.
yeah.
I can't remember who
Dwayne
else.
hates Vince.
Eric Bischoff, Ric Flair,
Hate,
Hulk
hates
Hogan,
Vince.
hates
Yeah.
Vince.
Hates Hulk Hogan. Yeah. He hates Flair.
Oh yeah.
What's he say about
Oh,
Flair?
he did. I think he said that Ric Flair was a totally overrated worker, and I think when they were working together initially in '92, he said that Ric Flair was intentionally dogging matches to make him look bad,
Mm-hmm.
or trying to like pull rank on him, that kind of thing. When Bret was WWF champion,
Yeah.
so yeah, he wasn't the biggest fan of Flair for a long time.
Okay.
So this is
Uh,
what he has to say about Triple H. Keep in mind that Bret keeps going back to WWE and taking their money as well, which is always the funniest thing. So he's been on a spoken word tour in the UK and asking fan questions or answering fan questions. And the topic of Triple H came up, and then Bret called Paul Levesque a phony who never earned it, as he just married the boss's daughter. Here's what he said. Here's some quotes. I'm not sure where I stand with Triple H. Well, you'd be fairly sure now after the rest of these quotes. Just being honest, I never rated him. Everything he's done and created is all stuff he wrote out for himself. I wish I could have sat back in 1992 and said, this is what I'm going to do for the next 10 years. I'm going to win every title, and I'm going to be the champion 55 times or 500 times. Do you want to react to that straight away? Yeah, because there's more.
well, that sounds like Bret to me more than it sounds like Triple H, even though it could have happened, but Bret's complaining about it. So tell me some more about him.
I think Triple H is a phony in the sense that he's never earned it and he never deserved it. I guess his sustained push. He married the boss's daughter, Stephanie McMahon. Let me just say this. I wish he had been in the dressing room when I knocked Vince McMahon out. I wish that it had happened. I wish he was in the dressing room because he might not have be married to Stephanie McMahon anymore, or it might not have ever happened. There was so much anger, and Triple H was such a slime ball back in 1997. He was a guy that I had very little respect for. I guess because he was associated with Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and him and Shawn didn't get on for the longest time. I never rated Triple H. There's not one match I ever watched of Triple H's with anybody that I ever thought like, oh, that's a great match. I never wanted to wrestle him. I always look at every wrestler and go, I could do this with that guy, and I could do this with that guy. But with Triple H, it was always just a match. Nothing special ever came to mind. So, what do you think about Bret's assessment?
Hey, he doesn't like Triple H.
Hmm.
Doesn't like the way he works. Doesn't like the way he approaches the business. Doesn't like the way he came up the hierarchy. Uh, but Triple H was a politician. That's what you got to be in the wrestling business. You got to promote yourself. And I never saw anything wrong with it. It's like selling a car. I mean, the car's not going to sell itself. You got to sell the car. And Triple H was very good at selling himself to creative and to the book and to Vince. So, and I don't know what business Bret thinks we're in, but to me, it takes a lot of energy to just to do that, not to like someone. It takes a lot of energy. And I think that takes away from your well-being and your happiness. If you're even spending time thinking about somebody you don't like, why? And I don't get it. Now, Bret can say what he wants to say, but a lot of this criticism that he's leveling at other people, really, if he looks in a mirror, he might see it coming back and staring right back at him. So, and I'm sure that Bret was tried to be a politician in the back too, and he must have been fairly successful because he came a long way. So who would you rather watch? Would you rather watch Triple H or Bret?
Oh, Bret, easily. Do you agree with Bret's assessment of Triple H that he's never had a great match?
Oh, I think he's had but I never was the big. I never watched Bret matches, and I didn't watch Triple H matches. But one was a heel, one was a baby face. And what he does say about Triple H is Triple H put himself in the position of the top guys, and which kind of helped him. If he had to get over by himself, he could get over. I think because I think people naturally dislike him anyway, but I can't remember a match that he had a great match. Never. But then again, I could count the matches that I watched Triple H in on one hand.
Let's move on. Oh, actually, I could also say that Eric Bischoff said that Bret Hart was the biggest waste of money in WCW history. But here's the thing: is like, well, Eric was the booker.
Well, he was the booker, but his hands were tied.
Yeah, well, Hulk Hogan had creative control, really.
But they signed Bret at some super price, I would imagine.
$2.8 million. That was back in '97.
So what does Bret want? Bret wants the money, or does he want to be famous?
Okay, this has been leveled at Bret quite a few times. He would rather probably earn less money, but be the champion.
I believe that. You know what they call that in the wrestling business?
I think you're going to tell me.
Being a mark for yourself. That's exactly what it sounds like to me. Because I think he would rather have the accolades and the endearments rather than the money. But when you're talking about almost $3 million, I mean, if you made $3 million, this was what year?
97. So that'd be $6 million or $7 million in today's money.
Absolutely.
I've got an example for you. Bret I'm sorry. No, you carry on.
He had to be one of the highest paid guys, or probably the highest paid guy at that point.
Second below Hogan, he was.
And what was Hogan making?
He was making at that time. When he re-signed in '98. He was making all in over $6 million a year. And then Bret was making $2.8 million a year, like a flat fee kind of thing.
I guarantee you that Bret hated that. Because you know what he knew what Hulk was making.
Well, I'm interested in that because I'm not sure anybody knew just how much Hulk was making until later on. Because that contract was released years after the fact. But yeah, Hulk Hogan was making $6 million or so.
That's even worse because now Bret has an arbitrary figure in his head that is above his, and that's what he was mad at. He was mad at something he didn't even know was true or not.
With what was I going to say? Just to give you the previous example, is that Bret actually originally turned down that $2.8 million a year contract with WCW and accepted a $1.25 million a year contract with Vince. This was a few months before the Montreal Screwjob, so he would have rather have been with the WWF with more dates and less than half the money because he wanted to remain with the WWF.
Well, that explains his anger now a little bit because he stayed with them for less money. Because he was dedicated to WWE, and when the WCW came along, he didn't go with them, so he had it in his head he should have been treated better. Mm-hmm. If he wasn't going to be paid better, he needed to be treated better.
Yep. He took the WWF deal, and then Vince McMahon reneged on that deal, and then told him to go and sign with WCW. So he did take the $2.8 million deal, but he rather would have earned less than half the money for more dates.
See, a lot of times when they go back and say, hey, is that offer still there? I would say 9 times out of 10, the offer wouldn't be there. But in this case, apparently it was there. Mm-hmm. brother, if they'd have said 2.8 million to me, I don't care what I was doing. I said, well, where did I sign? Let's go. Just tell me where to go and where to catch that plane.